Jake, as I'm sure you have also been flooded with messages asking, like, hey, where are you guys going to be at the Arnold? Can't wait to meet you both. Because definitely been happening to me too. And apologies for anyone that have not responded. It's just, so many messages. And we are preparing for the Arnold, of course, both competing and being at the booths that we're sponsored with and all the photo ops. And it's a lot. But
Or are you not with Arnold the whole day? That's where I am. Did you not get
really,
that invite?
no,
Uh,
they had recommended, or they said like you might be doing this, but they ended up saying no, and they said they found someone much cooler. So now totally makes
um,
sense, and I'm honestly glad it's you because I don't think I could out angle Arnold like you do. So congrats on that, by the way. But yeah, it's we'll be there. Can't wait to see you all. And why are you laughing? We're definitely gonna be there, right? We all the
are you
tickets
going?
that we sold that for, no, it's
Are you
this
going
is
to the
actually
Arnold?
the announcement that I do have is that we are not going, both of us. I know we
Okay.
said we were before, and I
I,
know a bunch of you already paid for the meet and greets and the pictures and all that stuff, the anime figure signings, but unfortunately we're not going to show up and we cannot reimburse you for
right.
all the money you paid for that. And it was in the clause. It was in the clause within the clause. It was within the Santa clause to Return of the Elves. So like, sorry, but that's just how it is sometimes. We
Make
have
sure you read
Pokemon
it.
Pokopia to play, and you should have read it exactly. So now that that's out of the way, we're back talking about bodybuilding, and specifically me bodybuilding, and specifically me bodybuilding on stage.
Yeah.
And as the high pitched voice comes in, that's the nerves of both competing and talking about me and talking about me competing. So we're here again. And yes, it is me talking mostly about it. But Jake has always done a good job of giving me a break of talking and then adding in his points. But I think it's where we left off last time and kind of to transition into that was talking about the importance of just peak week itself, but also the weeks leading up into it, how difficult that is, and how really planning and setting yourself up for success during those tough times and planning for the competition itself can help, again, make that smooth transition into competition day itself. Because it can be pretty dang scary, especially if it's your first time, right? So there's all these things that are probably going through your mind, but it was like that I talked about in that lead up of the week, just writing everything out, having that plan sorted really eased a lot of those nerves. And I felt oddly composed and confident the whole week, which is really cool to feel because that's not common for me, especially in these high tense situations of competing for the first time. And kind of like, oh, all the stakes are here. Like you've been prepping for, what was it, 35, 40 weeks or something, and all the pre diet before. And everything, right? So it can be overwhelming. And this is not to say that it won't be stressful or it will be easy or any of that. It's just, it is what it is, right? And we can make it easier or, smooth as possible based on our preparation. But when it comes to that show day, sometimes you get deer stuck in headlights or
Mhm.
stage lights even because you're like, oh gosh, here it is. So will that happen to me? We're going to find out in this episode. But yeah, I think I guess yeah, we could start not only the day of, but this day before because it kind of transitions nicely into it. But it was because day before, and even like a couple days before that was the funnest part of prep, becoming a dolphin.
Mm.
Yep, the hair removal. That's right. And
Yeah,
it's
that is the best part for sure.
it's so that was the first time that I've ever been dolphined, as in like no hair, because like I'm not. Maybe this is too much. I'm not like a normally hairy guy. Average maybe, like it's not crazy, which is good, which is also kind of crazy because I'm Portuguese and typically Portuguese people have more hair on their arms, whatever it is. But I was okay, but it was still odd. It was still like it was just, I don't know. How was your experience with that before I get into mine?
Oh, dude. Well, so I'm very glad that I didn't become dolphin for the first time like the day before
Yes,
because
yeah.
I was covered, dude, in like razor burn and like all this. It was awful. Like the first time I shaved, like the next day when I had to like sit in a chair, the back of my legs were so uncomfortable. So it was bad. So I think I shaved for like 4 or 5 weeks or something before the show to help my skin because I have pretty sensitive skin. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
but because
But
of that, I
whatever
was
you're
like,
doing, it's working. Like, oh my
I,
gosh, look at your skin right now. It's just so good.
am I glowing? Uh,
Yes.
but it's the ring light. No, but I had to like I wanted my skin to get used to it a little bit, right? So that my first experience was very uncomfortable, and it probably took me like an hour and a half in the shower trying to like, because I've never done it before. Like, what angle do I, and you got to figure out, well, what direction does the hair grow? Because you want to shave in a certain way, otherwise you get these ingrown hairs and stuff, right? And like, there's just all this stuff that you had to learn. That like, thank God I'm not a girl, dude, because like, can you imagine having to do that all the time? Like,
Oh,
it's horrible. I mean, they don't have to do it all the time, but like, a lot of them do, right? So that it's just time consuming and frustrating. So yeah, but then it got smoother, literally and figuratively, every time we did it. And eventually, by the last time I did it before competing, it was like, I think it took me like 20 minutes or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's not so bad, and no longer super uncomfortable. So we were good. That was my experience.
nice. Yeah, it's thankfully Eric again helped me out, and we were super early on. He was like, "Hey, this weeks even before, he's like, hair removal is the thing. We got to talk about it earlier. We talk about it and plan for it again. Better it is. Kind of a theme here. But he was like, we can try Nair, the hair removal cream. But if you do that, also try that like a week and a half before and a small spot to see like how you respond. Because again, if you have sensitive skin or you just don't mesh well with it, it's not fun. You don't want to put all that all over you. Then you're just on fire the whole time. So thankfully, I am a Nair responder because
good for you,
dude. I was the same thing. I was like, I don't want to physically have to shave all this. So
it's a lot.
It is. I did some touch ups afterwards, but it was all Nair to start, which is good. It smells weird. It's a little bit less strong than it used to be. This is what I hear. Like they've made it better, and there's options of like in shower versus not, whatever it was. I just threw on some music, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna go at it and just gonna chill there, and then let the cream do the work in certain spots, just so I'm not like freaking out over here that my leg's on fire. Then oh no, here's this coming in. So it was like going in it at sections, and that was also very weird. Just like, here comes off all the hair, like here's a little towel and boom, it just comes all off, and you're just sitting there in awe because you're like, how does this happen? This is kind of cool but also scary, and all that. But I was surprised because I do have pretty sensitive skin as well, but it worked well, so that was good. No touch-ups. The worst thing was honestly just how cold it was, even more so, especially because it was like, again, end of November for us in the Northeast, so it was just even more. And like, you feel everything even more. Like you feel the clothes on the skin. You feel it more when you're sitting, when you're standing, any other movement. Like my last couple sessions, I'm like, whoa, like this is just so different.
Yeah.
Right. So it thankfully wasn't too bad, but it was an interesting experience. But I'm just happy it was good and it wasn't, terrible. And but that is a thing. It grew back pretty quickly, which is I like post comp, which is nice. Don't have to worry about that, but.
Was it super itchy for you when it was growing back? Not too bad.
Medium. Like I expected it, I think, which is what helped, but it wasn't like overbearing. And again, the odd thing was like getting caught in clothes. I was wearing like leggings because it was cold, and then I put shorts on, then sweatpants. So I had so many other layers, so it was more likely to catch or to be felt in a way. So so that was the thing, and then so that went well. And again, day before, because there was some ad stuff, and this kind of makes it's also kind of an important part of the whole thing. So every show will be different, so I'm not saying this is how everyone's will be, but the day before, I went to the hotel that they were at. So it was at a slightly different place than the competition. It was the hotel is where everyone was staying. Here's all the check-in stuff. Here's your tanning, and then the competition was at the school, like down the street. So it was all pretty nearby. And again, it was close to my house, to 30ish minutes, which is nice. So day before, went over to get it all done. And I think what helped again, and the theme of preparation was the showrunners were very communicative of like, this is what's going on. You have to be here at this time to check in. You have to have your cash out, your ID out. Like, we're going to make this as expedited as possible, easy for us, easy for you. And that's how it should be. And I think it's so important to really respect that, because they are doing a ton of stuff and you want to be mindful of their time and your time too. And it just makes it so much easier for everybody involved. Right. So I think it's important because, like, for example, when I'm there, like, some people are, it's only cash. And they're like, oh gosh, like, we put this on the email, it has to be cash, like, and then it holds people up, all that. And again, I know there's no malintent in it, but it's just frustrating, I'm sure. And something being on that admin side of like, we're conducting a study, like, oh dude, like, you're not supposed to eat before you come in. And now we have to push your whole thing back. Like, oh, you trained yesterday? Oh, so here we're gonna have like, it's, so we kind of get it there. And I think that was nice to be on the other side, but cool, I'm gonna read everything and just be ready to go, right? And
Yeah.
it was like walking into the hotel. It was cool because you see everyone in their baggy clothes, and some of them are
Yeah.
tanned up, some of them are not, and you see everything kind of getting there. So that was cool to be like, wow, this is happening, like this is real. But it was, again, I was so calm on that day, which was really, that was just nice as well, because it was, again, it can be stressful because you're like, okay, I need to have everything in check. I'm also doing my polygraph today. I'm also getting my tan done today. I also have to make sure I get all the information I get my pin with my number on it. I do everything because basically after my tan I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right, so it can be stressful, but it felt good, and it felt like, and again, I was just very observant during these times, and then seeing some other people be stressed out and just kind of like running around, and it was just, I felt good to be calm, cool, and collected, right? And I look back on that with pride, because again, I think I was a testament to all the stuff we did leading up to it, and I think it was, again, very helpful to have that mindset for that week, for that day, but also then for the day coming afterwards, right? Because if I'm able to get through that stuff and be in it, then show day, like, that should carry over into that to some degree. Obviously, it's a stark difference between show day and check-in day, but it's like it can cascade into the other way if you let it, right? Oh no, I don't have my money. Oh no, my tan went poorly. Oh no, polygraph was stressful. Whatever it is. So checked in. It was the person doing the check-in was, they were trying to, I think, break some ice and relieve some of the nerves of some people, because they were like, I was like, oh hey, Colby Souza checking in. They're like, Colby Souza men's physique, right? And I'm like, oh no, bodybuilding. Like, I laughed a little bit, but I was like confident, no, it's bodybuilding. And at the time I was like, and he started laughing. He's like, yeah, I know. I just like to, make people laugh, get people into it. And I was like, that might throw some people off too, because if you're like, what? No, I didn't sign up for
These
men's
people
physique.
are sprung out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it's a bold move, but it was, again, it was like cool to be, and maybe I'm overthinking this, but like to keep my cool in this tested moment. It's like, oh no, like, I'm bodybuilding. Like, I know what I'm here for. I'm about it. I know I signed up properly. I know I did all these things. Like, I'm here. So that was cool. Got my little goodie bag, got that all, and then it was the polygraph, which was also the first time I ever been polygraphed, which was
Yeah.
like, it's inherently stressful because you're like, what if this thing somehow says something wrong? Like, I'm clearly natty, like, I've not done anything like bad, and they prep you for it beforehand. They're like, we're gonna ask you a couple of these like baseline questions to get some baseline info, and then this is how you respond and all that. So it was it's funny. Did the first round, and they were like, that's weird. So I'm like, in my head, again, coming from like the researcher background, I'm like, are they gonna try to placebo nocebo type affect me and then sham affect me, saying like, oh, something goes wrong, we need to do that again, to throw me off, to see how I respond under pressure in a way, and see if that changes my thoughts, because maybe that, and I was like, maybe that's the whole thing, maybe I just made that up as well. But I was like, went in it, I passed, obviously, but that also could be stressful because you're sitting there and they're asking you questions, and like one of the baseline questions is like, have you ever lied to anybody in your whole life? And you're like, well, yeah, I think everyone does. So you're like, yes. And then in your head, you're thinking about, it's like, damn, I can't believe I lied about my RIR on that pendulum squat. I can't believe whatever it might be, right? So it could be stressful. Did you have, did you do the poly? Was it first time doing it?
Yeah.
Or was it like, how was your experience with that?
Honestly, I remember I was nervous for the same reason of just like, I haven't done anything, but I'm scared that I'm just going to be anxious in general, and that's going to show up as something weird.
Yeah.
But it was like, I just remember being done and being like, that was it. Like,
yeah.
It was such a fast, like, it almost felt like they didn't care, to be honest. And which I get. I mean, they're doing this for so many people, and like, we're clearly natural, right? Like, or just a very poor responder to steroids and training, in which case, like, oh well, right? Get on stage, it's fine. So like, yeah, I don't know, but that was definitely my general feeling, was just like, I expected a little bit more rigorous, but who knows how reliable polygraphs aren't that reliable anyway, they say, right? So whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, did that, and what was helpful to that, it just came early to everything. Like you sign up for stuff, but you always want to go early just in case there is time, so it can expedite things, and just so you're not late too, which is helpful. So got that done early, helped them with that. I was able to get my tan early, and first time ever getting tanned. and man, again, an experience. It was it was cool again because I was just very chill about it. But it was just such a like it wasn't odd because you're like, well, yeah, this is just bodybuilding. Like we're all
Yeah,
just in the nude
part
here,
of the
like
process.
obviously, right? But it was just like especially I remember hearing you talk about it first time too, and actually like, live some of the things. And it's like, oh yeah, the sock is a thing. Like they
Uh-huh.
gave you the sock, and I don't know if they're trying to poke fun at me, whatever it was, but they're like, here is this pink cheetah print sock for you, my friend. And I was like, nah, you really? Really? So I still have it. I should have brought it out, but that's one of my prizes that I won was my
Is it?
sock.
Did you? Was it also like small enough they had to hold it like this for you when they gave it to you? Is that why you did that? Is that how that
No,
works?
it was man, it was large. Nah, dude,
Yeah.
it was like a baby sock. Like
It's like
it
a
has to be because it
it's
has
like
to.
a what? What is that thing called? A thimble when you're sewing.
I wish. I mean, yeah. So it was a sock, man. You get that all done, but like and then you're sure there, so you're obviously striking conversation. It was cool because everyone like that was doing the tan was also bodybuilders, and some of
Mhm.
them retired and they were talking about their experience. So it's just cool to just be around some more bodybuilders. It was like a little bit cold. I know some people get super cold. Thankfully, like the spring
Yeah.
and stuff wasn't like horrible. But it was just like do this position, do that position, like do
Yep.
and like just to get it all done. And again, super smooth experience. It helped a lot, and it's like don't have to stress about doing it yourself or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. So it was nice to have everything pretty expedited in that way. So again, just helping with the main goal of making things as stress free as possible and then smooth. So yeah, it was that, and then basically the rest of the day you can't do anything. It was
Yeah.
early for me. It's because I kind of had to get early. I didn't want to get traffic. Didn't want to get all this other stuff, and it was basically the whole day. That was probably honestly the most stressful thing of that day was trying not to mess up the tan because like you wear the baggy clothes and you're like, okay, please don't like move or do anything else and sit, but don't sit too much or don't move around. When you're sleeping, try not to move around too much. Like, I don't think I can control that much. I can mummify as much as I can, but it's
Yeah.
so there's that. But yeah, there was just leading up to that was nice, and I forgot to mention this before too. But even the day before that day was when they sent the final email of the schedule, and again, schedule of the actual show day. And I'll talk more about that later. But like that almost threw me off because they made a pretty big change in everything the day before, and you're like, oh geez, like here's all the stuff to worry about. But again, it was like not gonna let it affect me, and kind of have that happen. So it was now that everything's done, now that I know what to expect, it's like I just got to go to bed. And honestly, I don't know how your experience was, but I had probably one of the better sleeps I had, mainly because I had more food in me. And then whereas before being hungry all the time, or on the 12th low day, it's like waking up early or getting interrupted sleep. So it was nice to have a good sleep before. Like the nerves weren't bad, the hunger wasn't there. It was just like just go to bed and chill. So were you able to have a pretty normal night before for you,
Uh,
or
Normal. My sleep's not that great, anyways. But it was normally,
it's better now though, right?
no, no,
Yeah,
not really.
you're like it's somehow worse than it was
Yeah,
prepping because
uh,
I have to do this
what,
PhD.
what, yeah, what, well, I don't know. I think I just don't sleep good. It's on the short list of like once I get better health insurance, we're gonna try to figure out what
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because I shouldn't be waking up, every hour, every night.
Yeah.
It's probably not great.
Yeah.
So,
But you see, like you said, you're taking steps, and it'll get there, and
we'll get there.
that'll be a game changer too for everything
Yeah.
else in a way. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was that night. Woke up, and again, nice to have everything planned out. Night before, again, had like my bag ready to go, knew what time I was waking up, and like the way we approached it was like we looked at showtime and when I was anticipated to step on stage. Like it's basically like a normal training day. So it's like wake up, have a normal breakfast like you would before training, get there a little bit early, same thing, so you're prepared, get your touch-ups for tan, and just try to have it be again as normal as possible. So same exact breakfast. So right before that, same exact breakfast. But one of the coolest parts of the day was that was also the day that My Hero Academia episode came out, and it was the Midoriya Rising episode. Are you up to date with that or no?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like fantastic episode, right? Like it, and especially My Hero for me, it was like one of those things I started when I was at FAU, like back in 2016,
Yeah.
right? So like to have this kind of 10 year journey also be attached to that and like other things, and to come close to an end and have these very big climaxes at the same day of competition was like just very poetic for me. Like it was
Yeah.
that was also one of the hardest things outside, like more than the competition, was trying not to cry on that day to mess up my tan. Because I was like, I swear, if I have a teardrop rolling down before I even, and it messes up my tan, it comes off on show day, like that's gonna be before you even step on stage, they're gonna notice that. So that was hardest. I was here, I was like dabbing my eyes. I was like, no, please, please. It's like looking up and everything. It's just not because it was so
Yeah.
good, right? Everyone, and then like it's kind of that's my back right now, where it's like you can do it, you can do it. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but it's like, man, that was so cool. So that day is already starting off great. Normal breakfast, watching anime that I love, also a great episode, and then driving over, listening to some of my favorite songs, some more anime songs too, of course. There's a lot of haiku in there, so that was cool. Just kind of wake up, feel that, and again, feeling very composed, feeling very calm, excited, but not honestly not nervous, which is great, and it was just cool to feel that. And then, because I showed up early, got my touch ups for tan, so that went well, no issue there. And then it's like, then again, same idea of having to be mindful of the scheduling and the people running the show, because sometimes shows just take a little bit longer or something goes like they have to adjust. So it's very important to be aware of the timing. And thankfully, this was what was very helpful about just having experience doing powerlifting coaching and meet day coaching, because like that is extremely stressful. That's honestly was more is usually more stressful than competing itself. Is powerlifting coaching day,
Yeah,
especially if you have multiple athletes. You're like, okay, you need to start warming up here. Did I put in your attempt? Oh gosh, like I need to give you like calm affirmations. I need to slap you on the back and smack you in the face to get you hump it up. And you're just like going back and back. Is you take everyone else's stress on the day, right? That's kind of like the coach's goal, which that's what you sign up for. But it's the day of was helpful to be like, okay. And when I created the schedule for the day, things were based off of like where the other categories were at. It wasn't like I was supposed to be on a stage say at 11, right? But I didn't say do your warm up at 10:30, do this at 10. It was at the end of first round, posing, have your food here. At the end of this, have this much water. So the things were based off that, which helped a lot more too. Because if I stuck to that number, things would have been slightly off. And again, we talked about that not being too crazy, but I didn't want that to add stress. Like, oh gosh, should I eat my food right now? Should I drink a little bit of water? Should I start pumping up now? Because it can be, again, more stressful for that sense. But so how was your backstage before I get into like what did it look like?
We were in a hallway.
Okay, same. That's why I was like,
First show was the hallway. Yeah, the second show was in a theater, so there was like a proper backstage area, like a dressing room kind of thing. But the first one was at a school also, so it was just hallway outside the cafeteria or whatever.
So that at first, because in the day before, there were like plenty of space in the pump up stage back room. There's no equipment or anything, so bring whatever you need. But plenty of space and
plenty of space.
And I was like, what do you mean?
I'm
There's
sure.
2 rows and lockers that'll probably get pushed into by someone, just like high school. So it's like that made me nervous too. I'm like, oh no, where's the bullies? But so that was interesting. But I was like, hey, it makes sense. Especially as a smaller show, like that's what we're here for. But same thing where just backstage, just very, very calm, very present, and have everything written out. And kind of the guidelines that were given to me by Eric and that we went over, that we kind of planned for, was just, again, normal breakfast. But then for hydration, it was like just have like 2 to 3 clear urinations and stop drinking an hour before. So again, very like specific, but also very like tangible. Rather than like have 412 milliliters of water, which is possible, but it was like very flexible, which I think was important too, because it was like, well, why would I drink more water if like I'm already pretty hydrated? I don't want to over drink and feel, or I don't want to eat too much or eat too close to things, because then I'll be, feel off. So that was, again, super helpful to have that laid out for me and to know it was there. It was like, I had my little baggie and my little food, which is chocolate or mocha latte covered pretzels from Trader Joe's, which is a fantastic choice by me, by the way. I would like to say, I've never had them before. Never had this because Eric was like, all right, we're gonna get around 200-300 calories, get some sodium in there, mainly some carb, a little bit of fat, but nothing too heavy. And he's like, chocolate pretzels are a good option. So when I was at the store picking out stuff, I was like, man, this fits exactly what I would want, and they seem fantastic. So let me have them. And now it's cool because, like I talked about before, I like to associate things with experiences and times. Whenever I'm going to smell those or come across those again, it's going to just take me backstage to eating my little pretzels before
There
I
you
step
go.
on stage, which was cool.
Nice. I like how you picked like a singular thing that contained all the stuff. I didn't do that. I didn't. I just was bringing stuff that I had with me already, like at the
Mm,
house, because it was like a 3 hour drive, right? So,
yeah.
and I didn't think to go grocery shopping the day, in the days leading up to like get stuff for it.
Mhm.
So I think what did I had like some rice cakes and what else did I?
Rice cakes and honey.
No, it was I can't remember what I had, but it had fat in it. I think I might have just put like a tiny bit of peanut butter on them, like
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit, and then I took just like however much salt and just the dome, right? Which was gross, but also was like, yeah, this is part of it, you know?
Bodybuilding, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
What was yours? Did it time out well for you? Because I know for me, I'm sure I talked about this at the time, but it's like they were like, all right, you guys are going out there in 30 minutes, so everyone's doing their whatever their last second stuff, and we go line up, and they're like, actually, we need another 10, 15. Oh, actually, so they told us 30 minutes, and it wound up being like almost 2 hours. So everybody, yeah, everyone did their pump up, everyone had their last bit of food way too early, and like it was no one's fault. It was just the
yeah.
show ran long accidentally or whatever. So
It was not that bad. It was a little late, but again, so like this is where the powerlifting coaching brain was. That I was literally so like as soon as I get there, talk to the people who are running the show because then you be friendly with them and it makes their job easier. It makes you easier, less stress free. Like this is the bodybuilding show. And you'll crack a little joke, and they're like, "Yeah, you're in the right place." They're like, "Oh, geez," and it's like, "Hey, like, I'll probably be bothering you a little bit. I just want to make sure my timing is right, so." Please just like pay no mind to it. So I literally just kept checking in with them. Hey, like how are we looking? How are we looking? It's like okay, we're here. Cool, we're here. So like it was pretty good. It only started to get a little bit late as soon as I was about to start to pump up. So I was so glad that I was keeping an eye on it because literally I was like, cool, we're at this point. And in my notebook, I said I'll start doing it here and start going slow because Eric was saying, everyone pumps up too early. And I started going and I was keeping an eye out and I was like, wait, they're doing another round of posing. And I was like, they didn't do that last time because it was the other group. There's a lot more people on there, so they're like, we need to see everyone again. So I was like, oh no, like stop. So I just stopped pumping up and I was like, let me pick up where then I should have picked up again. So and it was like maybe 10 extra minutes. So it wasn't terrible.
yeah,
And again,
yeah,
like this is where like I wasn't paying mind to like the number itself. It was more of like the timing of the people,
yep.
which was good. So yeah, it wasn't that bad, but that actually worked out well. I felt good, and this is where too like I cut water pretty early on, like even though like but definitely before the hour. But I just was pretty hydrated, and I figured I was going to be like internal nerves anyway, so I just wanted to keep using the bathrooms too much. So I felt good with water early on, and that's where that flexibility and these like tangible things like oh cool I can check this box like I already had my clear bathrooms and I can just kind of stop because I don't want to overdo it. Be fine. Boom, did that early. Food was good, and it was interesting just being back there because at first you're like, okay, where are the dudes who are in the bikinis? These are the bodybuilders because like there's other classes there and everyone's there, so you're trying to figure out like where's everyone else at because there was very little, very small amount of bodybuilders. I think there were 5 in the non-pro and then 8 in the pro, but then like classic had
Yeah.
almost 30. Classic's blowing up now. I think because it's just more people like it better, or it's more feasible of a look, or Chris Bumstead, or whatever it is, a combination
Yeah,
of all
right.
of it.
Yeah.
So it was like, cool, there he is. That's a bodybuilder. That's a bodybuilder. And it was like just cool to see everyone. And like I wasn't sizing them up. Like yeah. It was like, oh man, like I'm excited to step on stage with them. Like I get to stand next to this person. That's cool. We get to share the stage. This person, cool. There was a point though, because like once you get the numbers right, and once like like who you're kind of gonna be with, because they like make sure you're checking in. It's like these numbers are at this category, whatever it is. I was looking around. I was like, yeah, that dude, he's got me. He's got me on size. He's taller than me. Like he just looks better. Like that's cool. And it wasn't in a negative lens too. It's more like, man, it's gonna be fun again to stand up and see how we do, and to step on stage there. And like then another person was like that. Like wow, like they look great. So it was that can be a tough space to be in for some people where they're like they almost lose before they step on stage, right? So I think it was cool that I was able to approach it in that lens of like, and this is where all the preparation beforehand of like I already won because I basically did it. I got it to this point. I'm actually here. Like this is just the celebration part of it. This is just the cherry on top of like we're gonna compete, right? So it's like there was no expectations of anything, which really helped. So it's like even if like someone looked better than me, like that's fine, like that's great. That's how it should be, right? That's we're all here to
Right.
celebrate our own journeys, right? So it can be an interesting thing. Again, I think because it's a smaller show as that, but like when you compare it to something like Worlds, I can imagine that can be crazy because you're like,
Yeah.
there's that person that I've been following on Instagram for 3 years, but this past year, like I haven't seen them post anything, and they decide to show up on the day of Worlds, like, and I have to compete against them, like whatever it might be. There's a lot of internal head games that can be played, but it's important to prepare for those as much as you can, and just to you know really focus on the whys of your journey because this is where it comes into play, and this is again why we talk so much about your why and your values because when they're challenged in these very difficult, stress-inducing situations, it can be easy to crumble, and that's not a bad thing. And that's not like to be scared of, but that's just part of the game. Like it can be something that makes or breaks your placing, really, right? And if someone does value that, or if that's something that they're aware of, or it could just ruin your experience because you don't pose as well as you want to, or you're nervous and something happens and your experience is just different than what you had anticipated being, right? So there's a lot of games, but it was cool that no games were really played. Like I said, already came in with that mindset, which is nice. Again, not easy, but something to be aware of. And yeah, so this is where the fun part comes. This is what I talked about earlier, of like when they made some big changes of the scheduling. At first, it was I think it was classic physique first, and then it was bodybuilding, and within the bodybuilding, it was debut, novice, open, pro, which makes sense. You kind of go there. All the
Yeah.
shows that I went to have been like that that I've seen, so I was like, cool, that makes sense. The day before or the 2 days before, whichever it was, they were like, oh no, we're gonna switch it up. For bodybuilding, the pros are going on first, and then it's the amateurs. And guess who is the only debut person that's stepping
Mhm.
on stage after all of the pros? Yeah, boy. So, when I first saw that, I just laughed out loud. I was like, no, I was like, this is such a Colby thing to happen. Like, this would happen. Like, this really would. And like, it was again cool to just really embrace that. Because again, that can be scary. Like, man, why am I gonna step on stage as a debut, never competed for, after the people in the crowd and the judges just seeing these professional bodybuilders who look great and have spent a lot of time doing their thing and have all this experience, and then here comes the debut guy. Like that can be really scary. It really can. And like at first, like that crept in, but it was cool to kind of sit with that thought, poke at it and say like, dude, doesn't matter. Like it just does not matter. Like again, you're not here for that. You're here for you. This is what the journey is all about, and then you're here celebrating. And if anything, just give them a damn good show. Like that's what
There
it's
you go.
about, right? Like, and it was cool to have that experience. And I think that again, this is such a Colby thing to happen, but it was funny because they finished the pros, and then they're like, "All right, here's our debut," and it's just me. Get into my front relax as I'm standing there. They're like, let's give a round of applause. This is his first time ever stepping on stage. They're like, again, bringing more light to it. It's like, it's not easy to do that. And I'm just there, like, smiling in my front relax, doing a little wave, like, hello, hello.
Yeah.
And it was a little scary. Again, this sort of nerves kicked in a little bit, but as soon as, like, that, like, you don't see anything. Like, I couldn't
No.
see in the crowd. I couldn't, like, I honestly just teleported back to my room where I do my normal posing stuff. Like I'm doing it for my check-in, like I've done for the past 40 weeks. I'm like, well, this is just exactly what you've been doing, so just go into that rhythm. So as soon as they're like front relax, it's like, boom, you're in that mode, and like you just
Mhm.
don't really think too much about it. And it it felt good to go through everything. I felt like I hit the poses like I should for the most part. I felt like I was a little shaky, and I don't know if that was just like about amount of flexing or nerves, but like it didn't. Everyone that had asked about it did not. They said like we did not notice that at all. So I think maybe they were being kind, or I think they were all being honest. Where it's like, no, it didn't seem that way. So that felt good. But I think the coolest thing was like, again, did it went pretty quick because it was just me, and then afterwards walking off stage, and it's like cool, like now you get to do that again, and like you have like what to expect. just
Yeah.
literally do it again, which is cool because it also should theoretically look a little bit better because any nerves that would have been there should have been shaken out and you should be ready to approach it. And it was like, man, I'm excited now to be out there with the open class because I did the debut and the open because in my mind it was like you only get to do debut once, like it's only your first time competing once, so might as well do that. And it'd be cool to do the open to see how you kind of stack up to everyone else, right? Because like you're just curious and a little bit more stage exposure, a little bit more experience.
Sure.
Did you do something similar or?
For sure. Yeah, I did the exact same thing. Both shows I did, I was up there twice, just because because I think neither one had a debut, but they had novice, so it was either novice and open at both. And like, is it more money? Yes, but it was another like 30-40 bucks or something, which isn't nothing, but like you've spent so long dieting for this, and you've spent so much money to do this already. I think it's very worth spending a couple dozen extra dollars to like maximize the amount of time you get out of the experience, right? Because it's probably going to be at least a couple years, if not more than that, before you do this again. So,
And especially too because it was my only show, right? Because and that was some of the thoughts that we had beforehand, where it's like one of the push and pulls that happens when, because we were deciding if we do 3 to 4 shows, ended up just going with the one. It's like you're just gonna get less stage exposure overall. So like your one competition, like if you get stage nerves and that somehow like affects you, like that can happen. Like that is an experience that you must be prepared for in case it happens. And then like you have to wait until next time. And I was just again very much okay with that because it's more of just bringing my best package, and that allowed me to do that. And then again, thankfully things went well in terms of the competing, and I was able to just still do both the classes to get as much exposure as I could. So it was kind of made sense. It'll be variable from person to person on what they want, but yeah. So just kind of finished that, and I was like, cool, got to do it again. It's also like stay focused because you want to be like, oh, it's over, because again it goes by quick, and it can be like, oh no, you want it to be over. But again, I didn't get those feelings of, man, I can't wait for this to be over. It was more of like just being so present and soaking it all in. I was almost like, it's already over. Like it was sad because everyone always talks about how quick it goes by, and it really does, right? Like not only just the whole prep itself, even like the 40 weeks is like that goes by quick, and that's 40 weeks. But the 5 and maybe 10 minutes that you spend on stage is like that flies by. And you're like, oh, that's bodybuilding.
yeah.
This is what I've been doing all this for, and yes, it is, which is also really cool. So again, just trying to be so present with all that and experiences. So step off stage, I was able to see there's 2 people in the novice after me. There's one person in the 40 plus. One person didn't show, so it ended up only being 4 in the open. So all 4 of us in the open, and this is cool too, where it was again just kind of going on stage, do it again, excited too, but also the thoughts of like, okay, now I'm like competing against other people. Right? They're going to be judging us against each other, which is new to me. That's interesting. And I was even maybe doing that myself and behind stage. I'm like, yeah, this guy's got me. That's just how it is. A little bit taller, like I said, a little bit leaner, more muscular. And then there's the other head game that happens where they say they don't put you and place you on where they think you're actually placed. Like if you're in the middle of the stage, like typically that's first place. They say that's not the case, and sometimes they want to see people stacked up against each other. And I think that is true, but sometimes it's hard to not think like if you're not in the middle, you're not first. If you're on the outside, you're in last. Like those are the connotations that come into it, right? And I actually had wrote this in my notebook when I went to go watch Worlds in 2024. I was like, man, that's a mental game you need to be prepared for. Because it can get to you. If you're somehow in the middle, then you're like, actually switch 19 and 36, and you're on the outside, and you're like, I lost. Like that could be so easy to fall into that, especially all the stress already that's going on, and especially if it's the world like, compared to like a smaller show, like that's something to be prepared for. And it was cool to reflect back on it and helpful to write those notes because like I was aware that was a thing, and I was able to kind of prepare myself as best as I could for it, right? And started off in the end just because it was I was the lowest number, so I was like, that's whatever. Again, didn't even think about it. I didn't even, same thing, didn't see anything, didn't even really see other people on stage. It was like, you're in your room again, do your same routine and do it better than you did 20 minutes ago, whenever you did whatever. So it was like, go through it, was able to go towards the middle, and this is where I stacked up and was posing with the guy next to me that I thought was going to win and just be better. And again, you can't really see anything, but I just like noticed more or less movement than I was. Like I was able to get into my pose quick, be confident, and stay there. And they were kind of just more lax or more like get into the pose, and then the transition was a little bit more lax. It was something was different, and I just noticed that from the side. But I was able to just get in, get out, and like again, all the practice I put into posing, which is we always say how important it is. You said that to me directly. I think on like the first day I asked you about your comp, and like, what's the thing that's most important? You're like, pose, 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 practice, practice as much as you can. And like,
Yeah.
I'm thankful for you for telling me that. I'm thankful for Eric for telling me that. And my notes from the world, it's the same thing. It's like pose, 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 and it makes the world a difference. And like, it was cool to feel confident with my posing up there, and not only feel it, but be able to show that, because that's important. If you have all that muscle, if you have that leanness,
Yeah.
and you can't show it or display it properly,
Yeah.
especially up against other people, like that's gonna make a difference. So
Yes.
it was cool to get that open experience, and we're all step off stage, because then we have our routines. And the routine's interesting because it's not judged, right? You don't get points on it. It's more of your, like, here's my expression of my art and my bodybuilding together, which is such a cool thing. Like, you don't really see that much. It helps take a little bit of the stress off too. Sometimes there's like a best poser award that you might get, and I think some federations do that, but it's not like, it doesn't affect how you place in like the open, for example, or at least they say it doesn't. I don't think it does either. Would you agree, or do you think is it different for federations?
I don't know. I have a hard time believing, if they see somebody who's just like if they're pretty even, and then one of them has an amazing routine and the other one it sucks. I have a hard time thinking they're not going to remember that. But I don't know. I've never judged, so maybe they have to vote and submit them before the routines all start or something.
I think it is, and that's why they have it lined up that way. So hopefully that's the case where it can prevent
I would
that. Like,
hope so.
actually, this person did this really cool song that I like. And I was like,
Yeah.
right. But it's cool because that you can prepare as little or as much as you want for that, right? Some people go really into it where they're just extra expressive. Some people are just very straightforward. You can pick whatever songs you want, pretty much. So it's cool. I opted for kind of a middle route where I didn't spend too much time in the art side of it, because I was just so focused again on just nailing my actual posing. When I first, like, before you even started like prep, you're like, I can't wait to do that posing routine. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna do this sick anime song. Maybe I'll have some props. Maybe I'll do this. You have
Oh,
this.
you were excited? I was dreading it. I did not want to do it.
It was a mix, because I was like, I've seen some really cool posing before, so here's an opportunity to make it cool. But as things got closer, it was one of those things that I didn't want to invest the time or effort in, just especially because it was the first show. I wanted to make sure my actual posing was nailed, and make sure that I wasn't adding more stress of like worrying so much about my posing routine that my actual posing on stage during, just the actual grading of it all was somehow impaired, right? Because I'm like, oh no, posing's next. So it was still cool. I was very purposeful about it. So I picked 10,000 Hours by Macklemore. Have you heard that song?
I don't know.
It's an older song, yeah. So it's like again, kind of the cool thing that the song is so important to me in many ways, mainly because the summer it came out was the summer of 2013. That's when I first started lifting. So I remember that summer like was a mix of like watching a lot of Matt Ogus and Eric Helms on YouTube, and like waking up, eating breakfast while watching one of those YouTube videos, then listening to that album, and then going to the gym. So it was kind of like one of those things. And the song 10,000 Hours, it just kind of talks about mastery, right? They refer to it as 10 years of something, or 10,000 hours into something. And he talks a lot about like the art, and it was very like special to me in that sense. And then like it became a song I would listen to like and keep on like reserve for special occasions. Like, okay, here's your graduation for FAU Masters, like listen to this song. Like, yes, New Year's Eve was the first song you're listening to start the new year. Here it is, 10,000 Hours. So it was like one of those things, and I chose it to pose to, which was really cool and powerful, because it was like you picked a specific part of the song where it's like one of my favorite lines, where he talks about like, the greats weren't great because at birth they could paint. The greats were great because they paint a lot. And like that line of just like putting in work, 10,000 hours, and like that's the craft. It's not about where you're from or like whatever it is. It's like that's putting in the work and showing up. And it was kind of that whole thing. So to be able to post that was cool. It was very simple. It wasn't too crazy. It was just like I was able to like match the hit the pose on like some of the drops of the beat, which was cool. And this is why I'm thankful for 8th grade band to helping me get the timing of counting in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2.
Yeah.
Trumpet player, gotta remember. Yeah, it was helpful to keep the beat, because then it was like, again, the practices made it so simple. Like, you can't mess this up. It's like, hit this beat, hold it for 4. The next 4 is when you rotate, and then once the first 4 starts, you get into your next one, and just keep it to quarter turns and keep it pretty simple. So it was simple but effective, and getting on the beat was nice, and mainly it being a song that I liked was helpful too. So that was cool to do.
Yeah.
That went well. What did you pick
Cool.
for yourself?
I did not pick a song actually because we were getting to the point when they asked for songs. I was like, there was just too much going on. I was like, I cannot think about this right now. So I just got like whatever music they played.
It's like house music, probably.
Yeah, but it was whatever. But it sounds like what I did is very similar to you. It was just like some sort of front pose. I can't remember what it was. Some front pose, and then a quarter turn. I did something from the side. Quarter turn. I did rear lat spread. You know what I mean? It's just super basic. Showed off some of the poses that I thought looked a little bit better. But that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Next time we'll do a combined choreograph where like you step on stage, you do your routine, and then I do one, but it's like Naruto and Sasuke kind of thing. That would be so cool.
Can we like combine like a mech at the end, like a Megazord?
Yes. Oh
That'd
my.
be sick.
Okay. We don't want to talk about it here because everyone's gonna steal the idea. So you got to be careful. But that'll be cool. 2028.
Cool.
Here we go.
That'd be cool.
Or 29. One of them.
We could
We'll
get up
figure
there
it out.
and do some. We can dance a little bit like Eric does. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I don't think we can dance that good. He kills it.
I can't. There's no way. Absolutely no way.
No, I don't. Maybe if we start working on our backflips. So like, I'll do the pop and locks and the roboticness, and then you do the backflip. So we'll do the Eric Helms, Dirk Emmerich combination with the training
That'd be
arc
cool.
Naruto flair trademark.
That'd be cool. Start practicing now, I guess.
I'm ready. After this episode, I'm gonna do that actually. So yeah, did that, and it was kind of cool too. I was the first one to step on stage for the bodybuilding for the debut class. I was the last one to do the posing routine, so that was kind of cool too. Start it, finish it. That was nice for me. I'm lame like that. It was so poetic. But yeah, it was that, and then here comes the awards, and obviously debut, just me coming out there, get my nice little award. It's like nice, this is cool. And then open comes, so they get fourth place. Clapping. They give third place. I'm clapping. They give second place, and I'm still clapping. I'm not walking on stage, and then I'm sitting there. I'm like, nice. The guy running the show that I was talking to the whole time, like we were going back and forth because he was like, he's like made a comment about my bun. He's like, yo, you look like a samurai, and I was like, thanks, man, that's so cool. He's like, you play Ghost of Tsushima? I was like, no, not yet. So we just started talking about games. He's like, dude, you just won your pro card. I looked at him. I was like, what? You can do that? This is literally the first word I was like, you can do that? That's a thing? He's like, yeah, man. I had no clue. So I just walk out there astonished, and they give me a medal. They give me a pro card sign. They give me a backpack. They give me a Spartan helmet because it was like the Battle of the Gods thing. I'm there again, shocked the whole time. I was like, I did not anticipate this happening at all, and it was. I have to go look back at the pictures. I haven't seen the stage pictures. I think they're up yet, but I'm curious of like what my face looks like. It's like, what is? Because I'm like, huh? This is. I was again, and like, it's not that I was like, oh, I don't care. It was just I was not focused on placing whatsoever. Like again, I already won because I showed up and I had a lot of fun. And when I stepped off stage after doing my posing routine, I was just like amped up, like just high-fiving everyone that was there, like, dude, you killed it, like complimenting other people because like everyone else also did the same journey, right? We were all here, we showed up, and we did the damn thing, which everyone should be proud of. So it was just cool to talk around and be around that. And then like that it was just an additional cherry. I had 2 cherries on top of the cake, which is or the ice cream or the sundae or both of them, honestly, which is cool. So I did win the Open, which in every federation is different, but in the OCB, if there's at least 3 people in the Open, then you can win a pro card. And there was 4, so I was on the day the best one to show up, and I think that was something that I had to like think about too, because I think initially it was some of the thoughts of like, well, do I even deserve the pro card? Like, it's just, do I have the physique of a pro? It's my first time competing. Is that normal? Like, is that a thing? And this is jumping ahead a little bit, but it was one of those things where we always talk about, like, you can't control who shows up, and this is often talked about when, like, if somebody loses that you anticipate to win, right? They're like, oh, this person looks has insane physique. Wait, who's this random person from this other side of the world that shows up with a crazy physique that just ended up being better on the day, or they pose better, or whatever it was? And that happened, but in the reverse, where like whatever was there, and I just had to accept it. And I think because like I talked about, I was like, I thought this person looked better than me, but this is this is where the posing came into play a lot. And I heard his coach talking to him about it, where because his coach was in the back with him, talking to him both like throughout the whole session, and they were talking, doing a video afterwards, kind of reflecting on it. And I remember saying like, yeah, that the debut guy just came in, his posing was super clean, it was on point, and like that's something we got to work on. And I was just like, I ended up winning because my posing was better than that person. Maybe they did look better than me, or maybe they didn't, and I'm just being too harsh on myself. I don't think so, in all honesty. I'm not trying to negate my work or anything like that. It was just, I think the posing made a huge difference. So it's just cool to acknowledge that, and because again, that's what we always talk about. That's what we always hear, like pose, pose, pose. Like you lose bodybuilding shows for posing, or you lose it from that rather than like it doesn't matter if you're peeled or shredded or striated glutes. It's how you show it. So like, yeah, I won that. So still astonished, walking off the stage, they grabbed me instantly, the backstage people, and put me in a cage. Cause I'm a beast, dude. No, see, that was so bad. It's we're at 50 minutes in the episode. I'm losing that. I've been talking the whole time, so please give me some grace, bro. They actually put me in a cage though, because it's like it's like a high school, and this is where the audio was. But they grab you, so you know they don't want you to. I have to take a drug test, so I have to pee in a
Right.
cup, right? So they're like, no, you're not going anywhere to do any funny business. Like you need to go over here in the cage right now. So I was like, oh gosh, what's happening? And they're like, okay, do you need to pee? And I was like, not at all. So they're like, here's a 24 case of water. Take as much as you need. So I just start chugging. And I'm just there chugging a lot of water. But this was also one of the coolest parts was I was in that cage with some of the actual, or let me reverse that, some of the other pros, because I am also now a pro at this point. There were some of the other pros that were there that were competing in the pros section before me, and it was just so cool to talk to them. And they were like, welcome, like you're one of us now. It was like kind of getting that greeting and just being like, dude, like you should be super proud you did that. We are looking forward to stepping on stage with you next time around. And just kind of like picking their brains, like, why do you guys love bodybuilding? Like, you know, what's something that you enjoy the most? Or like just kind of just being there and chatting it up, which was really cool. So that was a little nice experience. And then after 5 bottles of water, I was like, you know what? I think I might need to go. It was, man, I was shocked because I wanted to help them out as much as I could because they have to wait to do this to go on to the next part. So this might be TMI for some people, but it's kind of funny. So I will say, I went to go do my test, and I had to stop because I was going to overflow the cup. Because I drank so much water, and it was I say it's a funny part of it, and it's part of my integral moment of my bodybuilding competition, so I'm gonna share it. But it was funny as hell because like afterwards I had to, they heard me like flush the toilet because I had to like get the rest out, and they're like, what did you do? Like, did you flush it all out? I was like, you're supposed to go into the cup. I was like, oh no, I had to stop. And I showed them the full cup. They're like, they started like, dying laughing. They're like, oh my God, we've never seen this before. Like, you're such an overachiever. Go get your phone right now to take a picture. I was like, wait, what? they they were like, we have to document this. It's hilarious. You'll thank us later. And like, they made me take a little picture with my cup. And I'm just here like, just like pointing at it like, so so I had to do that. That was funny. Yeah, and then sign some paperwork, do all this stuff. The test came back like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I passed, so I am indeed an Addy. I know everyone was like, "There's no way, holy cow!" But but it was. So it was that happened, and then it was after that. It was a little bit of a time like period to wait for all that to happen, and then I was walking. I just grabbed all my stuff, started walking out the venue. One of my friends waited, which was really cool because I had to have some people come show up, which is also great because honestly, just told a lot of people like bodybuilding is going to be boring, especially if you don't know what it's about. Like I if you want to come support, I will 100% like appreciate the support, but like I know like there's no obligation. It's just there's a lot that goes on, especially if you're not familiar with it and all that. So I just wanted to lay it out, and people still came, which is really cool. And one of my friends waited for me to talk afterwards, and it was. We were talking a little bit inside. They were talking out in the parking lot, and it was just so cool to like have instant reflections because they're like, "Dude, how do you feel?" And I was like, "I feel like just how I did before I stepped on stage. I feel great. Like I feel really good. Like again, it was things didn't really hit me, but it was also like they never hit me because I was already at peace as what everything that happened. Because like I had said, like I already felt like I had won. I already felt like the bodybuilding for me was very much the journey. And this sounds so like, oh, of course, Colby, the goody two shoes, like you don't care about the win, blah blah. It's not about that, and it's just genuine feelings of like, I I like it was. I am so happy that I won. I will accept it gracefully, and I will take that to heart. It's just like I would have felt exactly the same either way, and I can say that with confidence. And that's what I had said as soon as I stepped off stage. I was like, dude, I honestly would have said these same things if I showed up with the last place medal. Like that's just how I felt about the whole thing. And it was cool to say that and be honest about that and to say that now and to be honest about that. But it was like, I think again, all the time spent of before even prepping and talking about what this journey means to me and what it'll mean to me and what bodybuilding means to me, all of it was just very true to start. And if anything was only enhanced afterwards. It's like, man, that was so much fun. That was really cool to do it all. I love bodybuilding. I can't wait to do it again. I can very much wait to do it again, and I will. But I'm excited to get into this recovery phase. I'm excited to start building. I'm excited to start like just. I'm a bodybuilder now, basically. There's no question about it. Before you're like, I don't know, you haven't competed yet. Okay, I don't know. Now you're a pro. Like there's no, you can't really say no anymore. Or at least it's me talking to myself, right? Because I kind of need that. So it was like that's where I was at with it, and it was cool to feel that way, and it was a little bit, I was like a little bit shocked to feel that way because like I didn't cry. I was also shocked about that. I'm a very emotional person. I thought I would have cried, but it was like I just felt so again peaceful. Like I keep using the word peaceful, but it did feel so good, and like I was just calm, present, and like man, this is again. I think I was just trying to soak it all in as much as I could instead of letting other factors come at play. But it was to be able to soak that all in and to be able to come out of it with those feelings, to be able to still have those feelings was great. And I think that afterwards there was maybe a little bit of like again that idea of like do I deserve to have this pro card? But it was cool to sit with those thoughts too, and I think I was able to come to some pretty good conclusions pretty quickly, right? And it's kind of like what I said earlier where it's like it really doesn't change anything. I would still approach this recovery phase the same way. I will still love bodybuilding the same way. I would still be happy with everything the same way. And now if anything it's just like another additional confirmation like you can do this, like you have potential, so like keep doing it, and like again just don't doubt yourself, which is cool to say and something that I think we all need a lot, but I feel like we talked about it too, we all kind of need a bit more.
Sure.
So and then I drove home listening to anime ending songs that were really nice, so that's cool. And I have some of those songs that stick with me for my drive home, which is very like peaceful like anime songs.
What a day, man. It's crazy, dude. It's just there's so much that happens, right?
I kept talking the whole time, but I figured like you would stop me if you'd wanted to.
No, it's good to. I think it's just hearing you talk about your experience is really important, right? Like, it's cool for me to hear, but it's cool for everybody, I think, to hear. Anyone who connects to you on any level, but then also anybody who is just interested in doing this, it's cool to like, well, what actually goes on the day, right? Because there's stuff. I felt pretty prepared, but there was stuff that I wasn't aware of, and so I think that's super valuable, and just the just letting you go, I think is rather than like me asking you a bunch of questions, like, because then it's in this way, like you're able to, the stuff that sticks out to you the most is what has stayed with you the most, right? And then those are the things that you talk about immediately, and it's yeah. But why am I going to disrupt that? Let them cook, as the kids say.
You stopped me to avoid me saying things like, I'm a beast, put me in a cage, bro. We're keeping that in, I don't care.
We should. Do people think we edit this? What?
No, barely. As soon as this ends, I just hit upload right away.
That's it.
Authentic bodybuilding, that's the tagline. That's what we don't just say it, we live by it. We're all about it. But
that's right.
I think I've talked enough. I think that's it. I think it's a nice little note to end on. It's just that's the experience, and hopefully it sits well with people. And we'll always talk more about it and refer back to it, I think, in certain ways based on specific topics we talk about. We can talk more about like recovery diet stuff, but it'd be cool to get your, how you approached it and some general guidelines. Because I know the past two episodes have been more reflection stuff, but I think reflection is also important. And like you said, it helps give some direction and insight on stuff. And it's definitely not only for us to reflect on ourselves and give ourselves therapy, an excuse for us to talk to each other. But yeah, other than that, we won't see you at the Arnold. Just to reiterate, thanks for the money.
Well, let me before we get too many jokes in, let me also
Okay.
just say sincerely, like I'm very proud of you. You should be very proud of yourself. You did, as we keep saying, there's better and worse ways to do a prep, and you did this thing the best way that you could. And I'm glad that you've come away feeling that you do in fact deserve that pro card, because whether or not someone tries to say based purely on the physique that somebody deserves it or not, like the spirit of bodybuilding and what it's actually about, you got that in spades, dude. Right? Like that is, you are a pro in that sense, 100%. It's undeniable. So it's really cool to see you get that win and that recognition. And I hope everybody is just out there cheering you on, man. I can't wait to see your next time, right? And just how much everything else improves. So,
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, again, I do feel really good about it. I think that's cool to again
yeah.
come away feeling the confidence, feeling like I earned, and to be able to still sit with those thoughts, like we talked about last episode, right? Why we spent some time away, just like sitting and being present and everything, to be able to be present with all those thoughts
Yeah.
afterwards, and to get out of the recovery stage and all that. It was super helpful because now, like I said, I feel confident, I feel excited, I'm able to move on to the next phase because I have soaked that all in and I've taken in that XP and now leveled up, and now we're in this new season, we're in this new arc,
All right.
we're here and we're enjoying every moment of it. So I'm very much excited for it. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
cool. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, just anything else we can help out with, just to chat, hang out, hit us up. Instagram, Discord,
That's it.
whatever it is. We got the community growing. We're gonna get some more friends involved, so that'll be fun. But again, we're not gonna be at the Arnold, so don't. I don't know why I'm on. Okay, we
Quit
need.
bugging Colby about the Arnold, guys.
Stop.
He's not going.
I can only respond to so many. I need to go play Pokemon Pokopia right now. I can't be responding to people about the Arnold. I was like, you said you would sign my leg. I can't do that anymore. Sorry.
Just nail the leg in. He'll sign it there.
Yeah, do that. Or meet me at the anime convention. I will be at those. So until next anime convention, we'll see you later.